Salutations, Globehead Meta Sheeple. It's your host, Dr. Cancer, MD. I'm here with a very special deck profile. What's better than a giant towers that switches everything to defense position and is a walking floodgate? I'll tell you, a trap card that is Mystic Mind for link monsters when you banish it from grave. Scareclaw. Perfect deck for this channel. I got top 8 at a case tournament, I won a win-a-box, and I got first place at a 5-round locals, all with this deck profile. So without any further ado, let's get right into the profile. All right, so to start off with, I max out on all of the regular Scareclaw names, 3 Astra, 3 Acro, 3 Belone. The reason you max out on all of these is because they're all both starters and extenders. They're all one-card combos that get you to Tryhard. This one is the best one because giving you multiple attacks lets you OTK quickly. This one's the second best one because of the attack boost. This one is the worst one, but it's also really helpful because it does piercing damage, and sometimes you can OTK through a bunch of bodies. So I see some people cutting Belone, but I wouldn't do it. You need to max out on these. They're all starters and extenders. Why wouldn't you want to see them in your hand? Then I got triple Reichart. Reichart is one of the better extenders here. Obviously, it can search a card. It can draw a card. If you have the right setup, searching and drawing makes this card effectively engage. It's very cool, but you don't really, this one, you don't want to start with it. If you start with it, it's a lot weaker than starting with the other ones. So I don't play Rhoda. And then you're also kind of playing into draw a little bit harder, even though the deck loses to draw either way. So I got 1 Scare Cash and 1 Visas. I only play 1 Scare Cash. If you're very careful with it, you won't need another one. I've never really found myself wanting another one. And then Visas, same thing. This is, you can search this in already decent hands to play through Nib and do all kinds of Astrolud shenanigans, make Barone, what have you. Then we play triple Fenrir. Fenrir is an engine piece in here, which is really crazy. Being able to search Scare Cash and turn on your entire Scareclaw engine, it's just too good. You have to play Fenrir in here. Not only does it break boards and play well because it's Fenrir, it's also an engine piece. Fenrir can help you start your plays, which is crazy. Then I got triple Ash. I got playing a lot of hand traps, you'll see. Triple Nib, triple Droll, triple Effect Veiler, and we're also got some more hand traps in there, but I'm maxing out on all these because I also run 1 Call By and 3 Crossout. I've not seen any Scareclaw lists play Crossout, weirdly enough, and I'm just kind of wondering, what exactly do you guys do when you're hit with these hand traps? I've seen some lists play Talents, and I'm strongly considering trying Talents, but I think this is better. I'd rather just stop the hand trap entirely. People are on so many hand traps this format, you really just need these cards, and I'm just puzzled why I haven't seen any Scareclaw lists playing Crossout. It's been really, really good to me when I draw it. The thing is, I don't always draw it. I played 2 copies of Planet. You don't want to play 3 of this, in my opinion, because seeing it in your hand can be really rough. Sometimes it's really nice, like when you get hand trapped on the link, you want to see it, but I've already bricked on this card, even running it at 2. This card's actually really crazy. The attack and defense reduction from your opponent's monsters is really good. The pop is insane. Just a very solid field spell for sure. I got 1 Arrival. I see a lot of people playing 2 or more, and yes, I am aware it's not once per turn. Again, this is something where you want to be careful with it. You want to manage your resources effectively. And I've never really felt like I needed a second one. I just got to play it safe with the one I got. I wanted to make this deck really, really close to 40 cards, and I wanted to make it 40 on the dot, actually. So that's why I made some cuts to certain cards. I got 1 Scareclaw Twin Saw. This is my favorite card in the deck. It's a pop 2, and then it's also an insane floodgate when you banish it from grave. If you have the Link 3 on the field and you banish this from grave, it's Mystic Mind for Link monsters for the entire turn. So a lot of people think this deck has a bad matchup against decks that play Links because they can out-Tryhard, but not if you go for this. This shuts off all their Link monsters' effects for the rest of the turn. You know, on Meta Sheep Slaughterhouse, we love floodgates, and this is an amazing floodgate. I don't see people talking about its second effect enough, which is crazy to me because it's the best effect. Triple Imperm is my last hand trap in the main deck and my last card in the main deck. For the case tournament specifically, I made a really poor choice of putting Instant Fusion in the main deck and going with 41 cards, but I regret doing that because I broke my never go over 40 rule. So going forward, this will be the list, a solid 40 without the Instant Fusion in the main. And for the extra deck, the Scareclaw links triple of the busted card and triple of the even more busted card. I really hope this card doesn't get hit because of Mana Diem. If it did, that would really suck for the deck. The fact that this card's not once per turn at all on its search effect, you can make multiples in them a turn, get multiple searches a turn. You can use itself as material if it's in the main monster zone, and it reborns itself once per duel. Yeah, this card's absolutely crazy. And then Tryhard, another giant floodgate. I love floodgates. This card is insanely hard to get over if you back it up with Twin Saw, because anything that isn't a link can't get over it, and then anything that is a link gets turned off by Twin Saw. So a lot of people underestimate just how strong this card is and hard to get over. And the thing is, this is also not once per turn, just like this one. So again, for the case tournament, I made a really stupid choice of cutting one of these for a Millenniumize, but going forward, I am definitely going to be running all three of these. In my testing, three of this comes up so much because sometimes you need to get all three names in rotation in order to OTK your opponent that turn. It's very important to not let your opponent get another turn sometimes. So going into all three copies in order to get those names and OTK my opponent came up multiple times in my recent testing. So definitely going to be going with three of that. Got one Link Spider. This is here for one reason and one reason only, and that's Nibiru. Very obvious. You can use it to put an effect monster on board, so you can still make your Tryhard. One Cross Sheep. This card also comes up to play through Nib and just like weird situations where you have two monsters on board and Visas and Raycart in graveyard, and you want to get an extra monster on the board. You can use it to chain block your Astrolabe pop, or use Astrolabe's pop to chain block it. Whatever, it comes up. It definitely comes up. SP, the non-budget card in the deck, because I got lucky and pulled it. It's pretty good. It comes up in weird situations. It's not like you really want to make this all the time in here, but we got one Dark Charmer and one Selene, and then I actually got access code too. This is more of a controversial package in this deck. A lot of people play Asa, but I like Dark. There's just so many Darks running around the meta, and since I am running Veiler and Droll in the main deck, I often have a Spellcaster to summon off of Selene. It's not like I'm making this all the time, but in certain game states, it does come up, and it can win me some games. Helped me beat Centurion not too long ago. And I got one Astrolabe, obviously is here for Visas plays, helps you play through Nib, helps you break boards. Interestingly enough, the fact that it's not destroyed by battle can come up too if you just need to stall your opponent. Then we got Baronne de Fleur. You can make this in certain hands with Visas and play through Nib sometimes, or sometimes you just, special Fenrir, normal Ash, and go to town. Last card in the extra deck is the Insane Typhon. I think this is one of the most broken cards ever printed. This card has won me so many games just on its own. When you have no more plays left to make and you're completely out of resources, make this, bounce something, and swing with a bunch of attack. Then I have the side deck right here. Triple Ghost Bell. This card's mandatory, I think. It's mostly here for Labyrinth, but certain other matchups too, but mostly Labyrinth, because Labyrinth is always really hard for me. I have the one Duster and the triple Evenly. I wanted to find room for Cosmic in this list, but I just couldn't do it because the main is so full of hand traps, and I'm not cutting Bell for Cosmic. I think Bell is better. So this is the back row hate package. Cosmic's really good, but couldn't really find room for it this time. Something a little funny I was doing, and this was absolutely necessary in my testing. There's just too many Pearly players floating around my locals, and I'm already running Crossout. So being able to cross out the Pearly Yeep, like Pearly doesn't always lose to all my hand traps like Nib, Droll. So being able to beat them with Crossout alone is really helpful. And I've just had to deal with so much Pearly, even with the Phantom Nightmare being released. So that's in there for those Pearly players. Then we got the one Scareclaw Slash. I'm siding this instead of maining it to make room for more hand traps in the main. But this is really good when you go first. Post side, you can have an Omni Negate on your board. And the really good thing you can do with this is pair it with Anti-Spell, which is the other card on the side. You can go flip this first, no response. Okay, flip Anti-Spell in the new chain, and then whatever Cosmic they have, or anything they have is now protected by the Omni Negate. So can't hit your Anti-Spell. Then the last card in the deck is Mr. Judgment, because why not? More cards for going first. If you see this going first, you're probably going to get the game. I wanted to talk about one little tech choice that I've been mulling over, and that's Defanging. This card is very interesting. It's a good going second card, and the protection that it offers you is strong. Banishing your opponent's monsters that you swing into is pretty cool too. It's something I've definitely considered if I could find room for it. Like if I didn't have so many Pearly players floating around, I'd probably cut the Yeep for it. I also couldn't think of a scenario where I'm searching this over the Arrival, unless I already have Arrival, and in that case, that's like a very mathematically unlikely hand. Even going second, I'd usually rather search Arrival to help extend through disruptions rather than this, because your opponent's going to try to take your bodies off the field. So no, I'm not running it. I just wanted to discuss that it's on the table at the very least. Maybe if Pearly takes a nosedive from my locals. So, all right, that's the deck profile. Remember, Chris Hansen's always watching you. Gold Rares look amazing. Maxi can never come back. Play Ash at 3. Play Desires at 3. What else we got? Yeah, remember to unlike, unsubscribe. Don't even think about touching that notification bell. Leave me an angry comment and send this video to all of your worst enemies. Meta Sheep Slaughterhouse, Dr. Cancer MD, signing off.